Hi to everyone. Well, I'm back to do a little bit of stitching on my Heaven and Earth design. This is the Riverwalk charm that I'm working on, and it's a full coverage piece. It's a large format and I'm doing 25 count, and as you can see, most of this is quite heavily parked, so it's pretty wild looking, I know, but I happen to be stuck in a really heavy confetti area, so this for me is taking ages to do this area because of there being so many colours in this particular spot. But once I break out of this section, I'm sure it's going to get a little bit easier. So if you want to join me, that would just be fantastic. And I'm just going to probably chat a little bit and just relax whilst I'm doing my stitching. And you can relax and stitch with me. So I'm going to go quite slowly. I don't want to rush this because I find that with all these different colours here, if I start rushing, then I'll end up parking them in the wrong places, and it's going to be more difficult for me later on to try and fix it. So I just want to say it's nice to have you here and watching and getting your feedback and comments. So let's get started. A little background music and a little bit of stitching, and away we go. So which end am I going to start from today? Let's see. Normally in my app I have a clear idea, wherever I've parked I have a clear idea which end I'm starting from. It all is really sort of dependent on where I've parked, so I think it's the top left in this particular case. And what I've actually gotten used to is actually moving these threads from side to side with my fingers. So I found that to be really quite useful. It's just a little habit I've sort of picked up and kept on with because it's been useful. If I ever happen to bite my nails off, I really think that's going to drastically make a difference when it comes to being able to part my threads. So thankfully up to now I haven't had the urge to bite my fingernails off. I'm really pleased that I've been able to thread my needle quickly in most cases. And some of those little skills have proved to be quite handy. So how has your new year started? Has it been a good new year? Has it been pretty much just an extension of last year? It appears that we're all in lockdown again, at least where I am. We are in lockdown. And you know, for many people, they haven't ever really come out of lockdown because they've been shielding, trying to stay away from, you know, from all the problems. So that has to be really tough on a lot of people, I'd say. Especially those who rely on having carers come in and look after them and that sort of thing. And what if they don't have that any longer? It's quite difficult for many people. But anyway, I don't want to go into talking about that too much because I think one thing I've learned about cross stitch is that it's helped me to escape from it all. It's kind of therapeutic in many ways, and I come to do my stitching to forget, not to deny that there's stuff going on, but just to kind of escape from it for a while so that I don't have to think about it. And you know, the nice easy relaxation that this provides is more than enough for me to stop thinking about COVID because it seems to be the main thing going on day after day after day on the news. And you know, no disrespect, but it does get to you after a while. It just really does bring down your energy levels, and it does kind of mentally exhaust you. So this is so relaxing. So when I feel like I need to get away from people, when I need to get away from most things in general, this is where I go. I come to do my cross stitching. So I'm actually doing it quite a lot, because of the fact that it's been such a stressful year. In fact, I don't think I've ever in my life cross stitched half as much as I have done in the last 6 months, a bit longer. I just seem to never stop, and I think it's just a telling fact about how a person is, you know, how they feel, because at the moment it just feels like a lot of life is on hold. So what else are you going to do? I read a lot of books as well, though. I do read, and I play the piano, and I find that the piano as well is tremendous for escaping. When you just start to play and you get into whatever you're playing, and you can sit there and you think you've been playing for like 5 minutes when actually you've been playing for like half an hour. And it really does, it makes you relaxed, calms you, and it's a lovely thing to listen to, and for others to listen to as well. So the piano is my go-to place. I have a lovely piano, and cross stitch is the other one. And plenty of walks. I do go out for walks. I maintain a respectful distance from people, and I go to places where there's not too many people, and get a nice dose of fresh air, which helps tremendously. Now, where is this one? Oh, down here. So I've learned to be more calm through doing this sort of thing, cross stitching, playing piano. I've learned to be more calm, as opposed to running around full of anxiety. I think I've made a mistake now. Oh, the joys. I think this one, this particular stitch, was supposed to go on the 4th one. Yeah, right. Goes there. See, this is why you really need to be paying attention to what you're doing here, because it just takes a couple of seconds for you to stick this needle into the wrong hole and mess everything up. That's all it takes. And I think everybody knows when they're doing cross stitch that depending on the difficulty of that particular piece, you'll know how much you can get away with doing some multitasking, as in whether you can have the TV on in the background or listening to an audio book, that sort of thing, because sometimes you can't, because you really have to be paying attention to what you're doing. Now, which direction am I going in as well? So what happened to that one there? Oh, I don't know what I'm doing today. This looks to me like I should go have a cup of tea and come back again. Or have a bottle of vodka and come back again. But I think the latter would probably just put me to sleep today. So, do you ever have those days when you're just not concentrating, or you feel like you're just not concentrating enough, or that things are just a little bit not working out as planned? I'm sure we all get those days. Right, so this colour here, let's see what colour's that one. That is definitely the colour that is on my tablet, and that one there needs a new thread. Okay, I'm on the ball. I am usually much faster than this, but I think that today is just one of those days. So if you think that doing a heaven and earth design is really easy, think again, my friend, because it's not as simple as it looks. And maybe I could go cross country and do all this fancy, completely going off track. But I know for a fact that even with a pre-gridded fabric, I will completely make a mistake somewhere. And that is going to take me so much longer to fix than what I'm currently doing. So it's not actually worth it. And it's not that I can't see the holes. I think it's that my mind just goes into some other place and I start thinking about things and losing concentration. Which is exactly why I picked up a different project that required much less counting and was a much easier piece. But I do think that once I get out of this confetti, it's going to be a lot easier. This down here was much quicker, I have to say. But we shall get there in the end. So, okay, that's nearly 2 little rows complete, and that's not gone badly. No calamities. The worst thing is, and I was saying this to my husband, when you come to park and you find that there's already something parked there, that's when it all goes a bit pear-shaped and you want to scream a little bit, just a little bit. Because then you ask yourself, what is going on? And so where do you park with the current thread that you have on the needle if there's already one in the hole that you need to park in and it's a different colour to the one you have in your needle? You see what I mean? This is why paying attention makes so much sense. See, now I've got a parked one here that isn't parked on my pattern keeper, so we're already going to have a bit of fun when we get to that one. So even though it's a bit of a crazy escape, at least it's still an escape from the madness that is going on in the world. And now I have to find another colour. Let's see if I can find this colour. This one is a kind of brown, I think. And this is the thing now, this one I'm doing now is a confetti stitch, or as some like to call it, a ninja stitch. So it's basically one stitch. And I'm not going to park it in any direction because there's no other colour nearby that's close enough. So I like to do the loop so that I've got less tangles at the back. I'm going a lot slower at the moment than I normally would because of the fact that I don't want to make a hash of this whilst I'm recording. But having said that, okay, that's good. That's gone in really nicely. So I'll just do a few more little stitches and, oh, another ninja stitch. Just imagine, well, I think I'll come back to it actually and go for this one. So I wonder if you're more of an evening stitcher or a daytime stitcher. Or is it just completely random? I suppose it also depends on the demands of family and other people. I sometimes find that once I've really got into this, that is when my family come along, start asking for things. Which is a little bit of a pain, but hey, you know, I mean, I wouldn't be without them, so I'm quite happy to stop if my little boy wants something. Well, he's not so little now, he's turning into a teenager, but even so, if he wants something, I will stop everything. So I can't believe that since I started now, it's been nearly half an hour already. And what have I done? I've done 21 stitches. Which is more than 0, so I'm okay with that. I'm not in any rush. Things just take the time that they take. So do you ever find that once you get into a project that you start to lose interest in it as it goes along, or do you find that you get more interested in your project as it goes along? Do you like the start of a project? I think there's a lot of people who like the very beginning, all the kitting up and getting all the stuff together. That's really exciting, isn't it? Putting that first stitch in is really exciting. I found it hard when I was finishing my Heaven and Earth, the one that I finished last year called Bewitched, because I think all the interesting parts had already been done. So when I reached the bottom right corner, there was nothing except sort of like a variation of blends of browns, and that was it. And that's all I had to do to finish it. And that was so boring that I kept putting it down. And then I kept thinking, but I only need to do like 3,000 stitches and I'm done. And then I go and pick it up, do 50 stitches and think, oh, this is so boring. And then, and then I think part of me as well didn't really want to finish it for some reason. I don't know why. I really don't know. So we'll see. We'll see how long it takes us to get through our projects. Oh, why don't you want to go through now? There we are, and I think I'll just do this last stitch. And that will be me done for the very moment. I think I will have to go have a cup of tea and take a little break. That one there, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we are. Probably think it hasn't made a huge amount of difference, but it's made some difference, definitely. Then I'll finish this square later on. Maybe carry on down here. I really do want to get this confetti stuff out of the way a little bit, so that I can move on to a bit more of a sane area. So once again, thank you so much for stitching with me and for watching my videos and leaving comments. It's fantastic. So I'll be back next week with an update, more stitching. Thanks very much, and I'll see you soon.